The following is a production of Florida State University's Office of University Communications. Coming up on FSU Headlines, getting to the heart of the problem, an FSU professor discovers deep space issues for astronauts. You may now turn your tassels. Florida State celebrates summer commencement. And are you ready for some football and some soccer and some volleyball? FSU student athletes prep for the fall. Stay tuned for these stories and much, much more. FSU Headlines starts now. Hello and welcome to another edition of FSU Headlines. I'm Dennis Schnitker.
And I'm Nora Bertollet. We're on FSU's gorgeous campus where FSU faculty and researchers are making some out-of-this-world discoveries.
That's right, Nora. In fact, Florida State University's Dean of the College of Human Sciences, Michael Delp, recently did some investigating into the health of the astronauts on the Apollo lunar missions. Check it out.
So this will be, I believe, the first study that actually shows deep space radiation has an actual impact on health, not just cardiovascular system, but health in general. In fact, I think we've probably underestimated the impact of that deep space radiation. The low Earth orbit astronauts, which is all the astronauts except the Apollo lunar astronauts, are protected largely from this deep space radiation by the magnetosphere, and it's this magnetic field. And you have radiation coming from the sun, and it has these highly charged particles. And when it hits the magnetic field, these particles are deflected around the Earth. I began to wonder if the Apollo astronauts had had any problems with their cardiovascular system, because I had not seen anything in the literature or heard, and they're the only humans to have ever been in deep space. All the other astronauts stay in low Earth orbit. And so as I started looking initially, just reading obituaries and biographies, and it looked like the lunar astronauts were dying at a higher rate than either the low Earth orbit astronauts or non-flight astronauts. So going forward, what we're interested in is finding out and examining ways that we can counteract this radiation effect, particularly on the blood vessels. So we believe that there's a really high oxidant stress that occurs in the blood vessels, and this is persistent. So we can look at potential antioxidant mechanisms that might mitigate or attenuate some of the effects, and several other things that we would like to look at to counteract this deep space radiation.
The study was funded by the National Space and Biomedical Research Institute and the NASA Space Biology Program. And thanks to the findings of the research, Dean Delp is now working with NASA to conduct even more studies about the Apollo astronauts' cardiovascular health. Well, before there was the space race to the moon, there was the atomic or nuclear era. Now Florida State University is the recipient of a $10 million grant from the Department of Energy to help improve the scientific efforts in nuclear waste cleanup. The Department of Energy created the Energy Frontier Research Center program to help transform the way energy is generated, supplied, transmitted, stored, and used. FSU will receive the $10 million grant thanks to FSU chemistry professor Thomas Albrecht Schmidt's research and work in understanding the lesser-known man-made radioactive elements of the periodic table that make up the actinide series. His lab at FSU is the only university lab in the country equipped to handle such radioactive elements.
We responded to establish the Center for Actinide Science and Technology. And so the goal of our center is to deal with the legacy of the nuclear era. And there's both a positive legacy and a negative legacy. We generated a lot of high-level and low-level waste at many sites throughout the United States. And much of this was in the development of nuclear weapons. So there's a significant environmental aspect to the nuclear legacy. So the idea is to clean up the DOE sites and to develop the basic science that we need to really solve very, very large problems. The positive side is that same era that gave us nuclear weapons also gave us nuclear medicine. So a lot of treatments for cancer and many other diseases, and especially in diagnosis, is done using radioisotopes. And so the same techniques that we use to clean up legacy sites can also be used in saving people's lives. And the knowledge that our students learn and the techniques that they learn can be used in both arenas.
The grant will support 10 graduate students and 7 postdoctoral students at FSU.
Elsewhere at Florida State, an FSU doctoral candidate's research is helping improve the quality of life for older adults.
Up, 2, just 3 more. Down, 2, 3, up, 2, down, 2. I'm interested in exercise therapies that can enhance the quality of life and health of older adults. And we're using whole body vibration, exercise which uses a vibration stimulus with exercise to improve functional performance in older adults. Tell me what the RPE was for you. Each time we meet with the residents, they come in and they do 4 different lower body exercises. And these exercises were chosen because they target muscles of the lower body that are important for sitting and standing from a chair, transferring from the bed to, say, their wheelchair or walker, being able to walk and pick up their feet. And that's incredibly important for an older individual to maintain what independence they have. Up on those toes, down, 2, 3.
But the main thing is I can walk without my wheelchair or without my walker for short times in my room. So that's great. And instead of getting my walker or my wheelchair up to where I gotta go, I can just get up and do it.
I was proud of myself that I was glad that I had been able to be a part of this. And I know that Brandon is a good teacher, and he keeps us all in line.
But after the first few weeks, I was amazed by the confidence that they had gained, because many of them didn't think they were capable of doing this type of exercise because they spend most of their time seated, and they have fallen, so they're afraid to get up. So it makes me feel great to see these people out trying to use their walkers, out being mobile, trying to interact with other residents here at Seven Hills, encouraging them to exercise, giving them faith, and letting them know that age is nothing but a number. You can be in your 90s and you can exercise and you can still benefit from it. It's not just for the young. So I'm hoping we really see some data that will give this type of exercise modality some promise.
15 years after enrolling its first class, FSU's College of Medicine is achieving its goal of serving the underserved areas of Florida, and it's become one of the most diverse medical schools in the country. According to the Association of American Medical Colleges enrollment data, the FSU College of Medicine is the only AAMC member institution ranked in the top 6 for enrollment of both African American and Hispanic students among 136 U.S. medical schools. Its enrollment percentage for African American students is double the national average and is one of the top 15% of schools for percentage of graduates who are Hispanic. Much of these diversity numbers can be attributed to programs meant to bolster enrollment of minority and rural students in medical school. Those students eventually become the doctors that serve underserved and rural areas in Florida. For more information on FSU's College of Medicine's diversity recognition, visit med.fsu.edu.
And still to come on FSU Headlines, the end of another semester means a fond farewell to the class of 2016.
Carter Joseph Rooney. Luke Rodney Scarborough, cum laude.
We say goodbye to Florida State University's summer graduates when FSU Headlines continues in a moment.
I will forever bleed garnet and gold, and I will forever be here at heart.
Florida State is monumental in my academic and professional career, I think.
The professors are some of the greatest people I've ever met in my life.
We've always known if we wanted to go to Florida State, we were going to go to Florida State.
FSU helped me so much by giving me all the resources that I could need to succeed.
An amazing experience. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
When you buy a Florida State University license plate,
you're not just showing your school spirit.
You're supporting students like us.
In the lab,
in the classroom,
and in the library.
Putting this tag on your vehicle helps Florida State students achieve their dreams. So show your pride. Purchase an FSU license plate today.
Welcome back to FSU Headlines. I'm Dennis Schnitker.
And I'm Nora Bertollet. Florida State welcomes students, family, and friends to campus for one of the biggest events in a student's academic career.
That's right, Nora. It's time for caps and gowns and all the pomp and circumstance you can handle. Take a look at our recap of summer commencement at Florida State University.
I'm John Thrasher, President of Florida State University. I want to welcome you to our summer commencement exercises.
I'm feeling really excited for my upcoming journey.
We're assembled this morning to pay tribute to our graduates who have worked hard to earn their degrees and who will today embark on new journeys.
I'm just kind of nostalgic at the moment right now. I'm really excited to walk across the stage and graduate. And I've just kind of been relishing in the last 4 years, kind of remembering everything that I've done, all the people I've met.
Just sitting here today demonstrates your resilience and your determination to set a goal for yourself and achieve it. 3 things that I want to be known for: being someone who gets big things done, someone people count on, and someone who builds strong relationships. You are welcome to borrow my 3 things. Yet I challenge you to take the time to create your guiding principles for your future. Graduates of the class of 2016, congratulations.
Therefore, on the recommendation of the faculty of Florida State University, it is my pleasure and honor to recognize you, Judges Flintoff, as the Robert O. Lawton Distinguished Professor for 2016 and 2017. Congratulations, sir. And now for one of the big events. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Florida Board of Governors and the Florida State University Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the appropriate degree for which you have qualified. You now can change your tassels from right to left and be seated.
Paige Lee Cumbus. Mitchell Cameron Dipsey. Francois DeRose. Caroline V. Doring, magna cum laude. Laura Lee Marie Durgalek, summa cum laude.
Before graduation, a select group of those graduating seniors earned a special recognition. It's an honor unique to Florida State University.
Today we recognize your efforts as engaged scholars.
These students get to wear another special memento that represents their achievements at FSU. President John Thrasher places a special medallion on each graduate to symbolize their induction into the Garnet and Gold Scholar Society. The society recognizes the engaged, well-rounded student who excels within and beyond the classroom in the areas of leadership, internship, service, international study, and research.
It was special and humbling, to say the least, to be able to wear this medallion and to have President Thrasher to be here to put the medallion on me is just breathtaking.
So you hear the stories about where they're going to go. They're going to incredible jobs or graduate study. These are accomplished young people who really are going to go out and make a difference in the world, and they're going to be ambassadors from Florida State University, so we're proud of that.
You can learn more about FSU's Garnet and Gold Scholar Society at garnetandgoldscholar.fsu.edu.
Florida State University was host to not only college students this summer, but to local grade school students as well. FSU's College of Education helped provide the first Freedom School summer camp in Leon County to try to curb summer learning loss, all while having fun in the process. Check it out.
Good morning, everyone. How are you?
The whole reason that we started North Florida Freedom Schools was so that we could run the Freedom Schools summer camps. In the mornings, they focus on the literacy curriculum. So what makes that sort of not a traditional literacy curriculum is that we aren't trying to test the kids and have them do, all kinds of things like you might do in traditional school. Rather, we want them to feel successful with the text. There's a lot of read aloud, there's sharing about what's relevant to you and projects that they do to try to understand the books and relate it to themselves and the theme of making a difference.
We start the day with Harambe, which is Swahili for Let's Come Together. After that, we do the integrated reading curriculum, which is what they're doing right now. With the integrated reading curriculum, we're reading majority books and literature by African American or Latino authors.
Treetop and deep-rooted. We don't want them to get so boggled down with research and reading in the morning. So we try to incorporate these fun activities. However, we want to make sure our kids are learning in the process. So for example, last Friday, our field trip, we went to the Black Archives. So we're exposing them to, that background. However, they don't realize we are. It was just a field trip day. Just like swimming today. They think they're going swimming, but we're taking swimming lessons. So, for them it's swimming, but, we want to make sure you're safe in the water as well.
So everybody get prepared to have some fun, get in the water, learn a few things about swimming.
But also it has this component of helping children to see how they can make a difference in the world. So the curriculum, each year, even though there's different books, I'll focus on weekly themes of I can make a difference in myself, and then in my family, in my community, in the world.
Can we give words of encouragement to make sure everybody in our community is focused?
And then they end with a finale that's where they share with the community what they've done, but they also do something called the Day of Social Action, and they plan all during the whole 6 weeks about how they're going to make a difference.
So just them every day gaining confidence and growing and becoming better individuals for themselves and their family and their community is a great thing. It's a great thing.
And local middle school students also joined forces with FSU student athletes this summer to learn what college is really about thanks to the Arts and Athletics Camp hosted by FSU's College of Social Work.
The grade I'm going to is 7th. I go to Cobb, and this past week we learned art, poetry, music, and we took tours around the campus.
The Arts and Athletics Camp is a free camp for underserved youth, ages 11 through 14, so rising 6th through 8th graders, and it's just a way to expose them to the university environment. We actually had that swim and dive team come out and really talk to them about what it's like to be an athlete and kind of show them that academics do matter.
We came out on Landis when they were doing their playtime, I guess, and just hung out with them, told them what it's like to be a student athlete, what it's like to be in college, and what it's like to manage time and what it takes to make it and be successful, not just in athletics, but in college and in real life as well.
I could tell my friends that I met athletes from FSU.
It's awesome to be able to represent something bigger than yourself, and I mean, I know a lot of people say it all the time, being a student athlete, it's like a lot of work, but being able to give back and being able to have fun with these kids who don't necessarily know what it's like to be a college athlete or be able to spend time with us, I think it's a big deal and it's important for us to show them. I mean, they look up to us, and it's our duty as student athletes to give back to the community, and I feel like it's appropriate to do it as often as we can.
Another camp on campus helps students, both college age and younger, address the physical demands of dance, thanks to the cutting-edge approach to dancer wellness at FSU School of Dance.
Dance is an activity where you're pushing your body to its absolute limits. And because you're pushing it to its absolute limits, there are going to be some times when you overdo it and you break. So dancers tend to get injured not because they're weak or not because they're not doing things right, but just because they're kind of testing that limit.
I actually dislocated my knee for the second time right before freshman year. So I was freaking out like, oh, are they gonna let me in? Will I be able to even attend this program? And I got here and I found this amazing room and these amazing people who were willing to work with me my first year so I could catch up with everyone else. And that's what really inspired me to continue this work.
When I was 13, I had a major knee injury where I dislocated my knee, and then about a year later they found a bone that had broken off my knee. There's just a lot of things that I have in my body that I have to keep up with. And I already kind of did that on my own time. I've been through lots of physical therapy, but when I came here to their program, it was almost like I didn't even need to do that because they already watch out for you in class and you go through conditioning like it's normal. I just feel very safe here, and I know that even though I have injuries like that, I feel like it's not something that I have to worry about with my career.
So when I came here, I was hired to deal with that issue. How do you keep people performing at their peak levels without getting them injured? So that was my job. And what we've done over the time that I've been here is figured that out step by step by step by step.
The whole reason why I'm able to move how I used to move and even better and stronger is from working with Tom in the conditioning program.
It's just kind of amazing to see from week 1 to week 3 the transition and progress.
I recommend it to any dancer I meet because this is the best program that I've been to. It's just good whether you have an injury, I'm very good at being injured, but even if you don't have injuries, it's just good that you need to make sure your body's healthy.
Visit dance.fsu.edu for more information.
10 Florida State University students will soon be traveling abroad thanks to the prestigious Fulbright Scholarship Program.
The Fulbright program is designed to build relationships between American students and people of other countries through teaching and research.
FSU Headlines caught up with 2 of FSU's Fulbright recipients before they left the country to talk about their upcoming trips overseas.
As I understand the Fulbright's mission, it's to give perspectives that one's not likely to encounter in one's own national habitat, if you will, in pursuing a certain course of research. And so in going to Germany, I think that I'll be exposed to a very different way of thinking about things generally.
I've had a very large interest in Turkey for a long time. I've been very involved with the Istanbul Cultural Center of Tallahassee. So I love learning about Eurasia, and I have studied a little bit of Turkish while in Tallahassee. So I'm really excited for the opportunity to put it into practice, to really improve my language skills, and to meet many lovely Turkish people while I'm there.
Coming up on FSU Headlines, it's August, and that means it's football season at FSU.
We'll show you how the Seminoles are gearing up for 2016 when FSU Headlines continues in a moment. Welcome back to FSU Headlines. I'm Dennis Schnitker.
And I'm Nora Bertollet. You know, Dennis, it's kind of hard to believe, but it's already football season again.
Nora, you're right. It's our favorite time of the year as the Florida State Seminoles are prepping for their 2016 campaign. The Seminoles have a lot to look forward to, especially some big-time games at the newly renovated Doak Campbell Stadium. FSU Headlines reporter Mark Vaughn joins us now with a preview. Mark?
Hey, Dennis and Nora. Well, it's football season here at Florida State University, and the Seminoles are looking for a big season in 2016. The FSU football team will begin the year ranked number 4 by the College Football Coaches Poll. That means a lot of people, including the fan base of FSU, expect a big year. That pressure shouldn't be too much for a team that returns several key players, and of course Jimbo Fisher, who took the program to a national title win and a playoff berth in the last 3 seasons. But this year's squad does have some questions to answer as they start practice, for the first game against Ole Miss in Orlando. The Noles are ranked number 4 without knowing who's going to start under center. That's the biggest question facing Coach Fisher as they begin practice, but it's not the only one. One place they should soar, though, is at running back, with Heisman Trophy caliber running back Dalvin Cook back for another season after breaking school records in rushing on last year's 10-3 squad. On to the soccer pitch, and the Noles looking for another outstanding year with title implications. The Noles ranked number 1 in the country in the preseason after their 5th Final Four appearance last year. They lost some top-notch senior talent, but returned even more, and they add some key freshmen to the mix. That has the country taking note. 3-time defending Atlantic Coast Conference champion Florida State has been selected as the preseason favorite to win the ACC again in 2016. Redshirt senior Kirsten Crowley and sophomore Megan Connolly were recognized on the preseason All-ACC team. The Noles will open up with Texas A&M as they get ready for what could be a special 2016. All right, now let's take it indoors for another fall sport ready for prime time, and that's volleyball. The Noles on the hardwood putting in work, getting ready for their 2016 season. Florida State's outstanding hitting tandem of Katie Horton and Milika Kubura were named to the preseason All-ACC team, and the Seminoles volleyball squad was picked to finish 2nd in the ACC in a vote of the league's head coaches. The Noles will play all the top programs again this year out of conference and in the ACC, and they'll look to Horton and Kabura to help this team make its mark in the ACC and nationally. You can find out more and see the football, soccer, and volleyball team schedules on Seminoles.com. All right, guys, that's going to do it for sports, but remember, you can always stay up to date with Seminole Athletics by visiting Seminoles.com. That's going to do it for sports. Send it back to you.
Thanks for that update, Mark. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of FSU Headlines, but you can see more news from Florida State University anytime at Florida State 24/7.
It's the official news website of Florida State University, and you can find it online at news.fsu.edu.
For Dennis and everyone here at Florida State University, I'm Nora Bertollet. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.